Hello and welcome along to episode 7 of this FM21 Build a Nation story, Building Bangor City with me, Daniel. We're back today slightly earlier than planned as we've got our Welsh Cup quarter-final against another top-tier side. A side that traditionally have had good players, have been in the top half of the league, and although they're down in 8th at the moment, they represent a very tough test for us. Of course, this competition, we've already had some shocks. We're already one of the favourites to win it. And if we can do that, we'll go into the top tier with European football secured. So this game is potentially one of the biggest of the season. So if you're looking forward to that and you are enjoying the series so far, please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts of daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories, this one every other day at 3:30 and a head coach on the other days in between. We've also got our live stream beta series with Wigan Athletic, which is coming towards a close this weekend. We'll be back at 5:30 this evening with another live episode and then 10:30 AM on Saturday and Sunday. And don't forget, you can vote for my long-term live stream save over on the community page. The 4 options are all very neck and neck at the moment, so go and make the decision for me. Who do you want me to manage in the FM21 live stream series? You can head over to the community page and you can have your say. But thank you as always for your incredible support. I really am enjoying making this so far. And this Bangor City save already has the potential to become a brilliant one for me. We're going to fly up to promotion. We knew that was likely at the start of the season. What I didn't know is how we're going to compete in the Premier League. The early signs in the cup games we've played so far are good. So let's see if the same happens today. If you've missed any of the season so far, you can catch up in the eye above. There's also links to all of our other FM21 playlists, as well as our favourite FM20 story with Cliftonville. And you can also check out the football podcast I'm part of as well. But today, the focus is on Aberystwyth. One of the loveliest places to go in Wales and stay. Certainly have my experience anyway. But let's have a look at the team they've got. They're currently down in 8th place in the Premier League. They'd probably be disappointed with that. The fact they're not in the top 6, I guess there's a bit of a shock up in 4th there, but otherwise the top 3 and Barla, Cardiff Met Uni have been a good side for a couple of years, so I guess it's not a huge shock, but they'd probably like to have been that 6th one. But let's have a look at the squad they've got. Of course, the biggest problem they've got today is they've got 3 of our players on loan, Pasquarella, De Silva and Corterucci. Now, I'm not sure any of them have been real regulars, so he's mainly been off the bench. Pasquarella has been a regular. The other 2 not so much. But let's have a look at their star players and see what impact that's likely to have. So Oliver Davis is their keeper. Not good handling, but otherwise fairly solid. But I'm more interested in their star players because Stephen Hewitt is a name I recognise. I'm sure we've managed him at some point on camera. He's a very good midfielder. Probably better than any of ours, if we're being honest, and he's got a good personality. There's another midfielder in here, an Argentine. He's someone that our scouts recommended to sign because he would go into our first 11. So that tells you how good he is. Owen Jones is a regular starter. Not quite so good, but got the legs. He's got the pace. He's got the acceleration. He's got a good first touch. And the other star player is Josh Hosey, the right back. He's just 19 years of age and a really good young star as well. Couple of other regulars. Sam Barnes, a very good central defender. They've got another good young Welsh fullback in Davis on the left. And it's starting to look like a very good side. So I'm intrigued to see how this game goes. They've also got Sparks, a good striker there. So if they can cope without the couple of loanees and perhaps that squad depth, I've got a feeling they're going to be able to give us a really good game. And this is one that's sort of going to test us again for next year. We got through in the League Cup against Newport on penalties. That's a side that are right down at the bottom in the Premier Division. Where are they now? They're actually up to 7th. So we drew against them. We somehow beat TNS twice despite being outplayed. And we're also coming up against Aberystwyth today. So if this one goes well, we're going to start to think we can be a real force. So we are top of the league with 16 points clear. It's basically a formality now. I presume it's just the 30-game season as we play all of the other 15 twice. Let's have a look at the rules. It is. So 30 games, top place is promoted, and there's no other arguments. So that's going to be easy. Job done on that front. We've also got to take a quick look at the end of the transfer window. We still know about the 2 going out and the Mello one. Every time I see it, it still breaks my heart. We're going to have to find another number 10. But in the transfer history, no more ins, no more outs. And that was probably the biggest news of deadline day because it looked like for some time there were going to be 2 or 3 deals. But they didn't come off in the end. We're trying to keep the wage bill down. We were trying desperately to sell 1 or 2. So if we have a look at Mark Evans, about 7 different clubs bid for him on different times on deadline day. He rejected them all, so he's going to be clubless in 3 months. Robbie Parry rejected a move. He's now wanted by other clubs as well. We tried to loan out the likes of Murray and Boss. No deals for them, so they'll likely leave at the end of the year. And now we've got an injury to our backup keeper. So if anything happens to Zabret, we're relying on a 17-year-old South Korean called Dan Hughes. We've still got the issues off the pitch though. Of course, signing those players based in Italy and Argentina really is a problem for us. To try and deal with it, we have arranged to add the leagues at the end of the season. They'll become active in time for July. But I'm not quite sure that it's going to be enough. It really is quite difficult at the moment. We've exceeded all expectations on the pitch, which is keeping things very comfortable and very confident. We of course won that trophy last time out, and a manager performance is good. But despite that, we've no sign of a contract. With just 3 months to go, we're nearly £4,000 below the wage bill, which is good for when we go up. But the financial trouble at the club isn't great either. So this cup run is almost as important for Europe as it is financially. So let's go and see if we can do it. We'll go via the schedule so you can see how we've been getting on. And despite a couple of scares, we have remained unbeaten. So you were with me last time for the League Cup final as we beat Lampwent Major 4-1 in a pretty comfortable victory, to be honest. We then snuck through against Llanelli, and that was in the last round of this competition. Dante Isla off the bench to nick it. It was always good to have a super sub, isn't it? A 2-0 win away at Llangefni. That was a good result with Atkinson and O'Grady getting the goals. We won 5-0 against Holywell. We were actually level at half-time, and we had a real big go at the lads, and they came out and were on fire. Fanian ended a goal drought. Joe Healy got one off the bench, and O'Grady and Mello scored goals as well. And then into the Gresford game, a 3-0 victory on the road. Fanian with another brace, Isla with another one off the bench. We're just trying to rotate a little bit now, keep those options going. Of course, with the addition of Wells, with Ericsson, we have got a little more strength in depth in certain positions, and we've tried to take advantage of that. A 2-1 narrow victory against Gillsfield. That was the last game we played in this one. And a week ago, O'Grady and Fanian got a goal apiece as we nicked a 2-1 win at home to the mid-table side. And that leads us to here. Back slightly early, we're playing Aberystwyth. We were planning to be back later in March. Hopefully a youth intake to come. But we might have to leave that now. Of course, the league, it looks like, is wrapped up. So we will prioritise the cup. If we get to the semi-final and get a top-tier side, that will be the next episode. If we get through and we get a lower league side, then the final will be the one that finishes the season. If not, we'll show the final couple of league games. But it does look like it's Premier League opposition, because we're the only lower league side left. TNS out, of course, we put them out. But Barry and Connors Key, Newtown and Cardiff Met Uni, and Flint Town already through as well. So it's big opposition if we get through. And the only way to find out is by getting to the game. The dynamics look good, the team cohesion's strong, we've got good influencers at the club, and this is the reason I want to keep Chris O'Grady. He's still not declining hugely. At the moment though, he was wanting bigger contracts, so let's just see if his demands have gone down at all. They have. So now he wants less than he was on before, so let's see if we can nick a bit out of that. We very rarely, in these one club saves, get to see a contract negotiation or anything like that. I don't envisage him being first choice next year, but he's key to our mentoring groups. He's key to the young players we're inevitably going to get in. And I don't see him reaching that 20 league games. So we'll give him the cup games if needed, just to rotate the squad. But at the moment, he's an absolute star, and he is going to help us to promotion. So let's make sure we keep him at the club. We'll have to go up to 250, I'm afraid. If we can get the rest of the bonuses down, we'll be quite happy. And there we go. A £50 wage cut for Chris O'Grady, and another year of our most influential player. That's a good way to start off the episode. Now let's go and finish with our Aberystwyth tie. And one of the new little features I love here is this little one. We get latest scores when the kickoff times are different. So that's a 7:45, we're an 8 PM, and after 7 minutes, Barry Town ahead. That's what I love to see. Another one of them little detailed features in FM that I absolutely adore. There's so many of them, and they deserve so much credit. Now, we've got a lot of recommendations for moving people around, and I can kind of see why, but I've picked the team that I feel is best suited. I've gone for basically the pre-January side, the one that I feel is the most settled together, that has the best cohesion. We could bring in the likes of Ericsson, we could bring in the likes of Ben Wells, but I'm going to stick with Garcia and Cook. Particularly away against a Premier League side, Garcia's got more bite in the tackle. He's better as a defensive midfielder rather than a sort of deep line playmaker. Cook comes in just because he's the better partner for Malden. though I am a little worried about Moore's form at right back, so it could be that Mulder moves back out soon, and then we'll have Eriksson and Moore alongside each other at the back. Only 5 subs in the cup as well, so Yari and Kennedy Williams miss out, and that means the 11 is as follows. We've got Zabret in goal, Moore and Bolton the fullbacks, with Cook alongside Malden at centre half, still improving incidentally, and still becoming a superstar. Zabret's also starting to improve as well, so fair play to him. Garcia's in the holding role, Atkinson and Boot in midfield. Definitely the area we need to improve most next year. Boot tends to struggle with injuries, Garcia's not the strongest in the squad, and Atkinson is average. Him and Healy are pretty much rotating there. Mello, the number 10's leaving, so if we want to carry on with the midfield 4, we're basically going to have to replace the lot. It's the one area we didn't have to improve as much this year, and next year it's going to be the one we focus on. So O'Grady and Fanian are together up front. Fanian back amongst the goals, improving in that mentoring group. Chris O'Grady has worked wonders with his career. So let's get into this crucial cup quarter final. It's Aberystwyth v Bangor City. Do you think we can cause another shock against a top tier side? So pretty much the squad we expected. Jeff Kellaway, who is a good experienced player at this level. He's come in for our lone player Pascarella, who's unavailable of course. Michael Sparks left out for Mark Williams, but he's a good experienced striker at the top tier, and the rest of the team's as strong as it can be. I worry about Stephen Hewitt maybe keeping Mello quiet, but otherwise we're going to ask the boys to back the pundits up, most of them very motivated, and here we go. It should be an evenly matched game. Let's see how we get on. Well, this isn't quite what we expected. 20 minutes on the clock, and this is the first bit of action we're seeing, as Bolton wins a header from a goal kick, and Hosey gets it wide to Jones. Aberystwyth yet to have a shot. We've had a few, but we've not seen any of them in highlights, so they can't have been great chances. As Jones finds the midfielder, the Argentine puts it up to Williams. It's a good target man if nothing else, so we want to try and prevent those crosses, and they do just that. Atkinson stops the Hosey ball in, and here he comes away down the left. He can find O'Grady, instead goes to Mello. He gets it to O'Grady, and now Boot switches left to Bolton, overlapping from left back. 3 or 4 running into the middle, and O'Grady chases it down, but Davis there first. Really good goalkeeping. And here comes the counter. Mark Williams in from the long kick. Zabret has to make the save. It's cleared behind by Cook, but we got really caught out on the counter there. A real big trouble for us. And we're defending another corner here with Jones. In from a left-footed in-swinger. It's headed away, but I would argue the home side have probably had the slightly better chances here. And we're not really creating a real threat. As Hewitt picks it up, recycles possession, finds the Argentine midfielder, wide to Jones, and here's Hosey, but it does peter out eventually. And the stats would suggest we're having the better game of the two, but we haven't seen any of our chances, so we can't think that they're great. And here we go again with Moore. Up to Boot, plays a 1-2, into O'Grady, great header, it was glancing to the far stick, but Davis up to his right, and he holds on to it as well. Crucial goalkeeping there. The home side staying in it, but we are just starting to get on top. Although Malden over the top here, the keeper's come out a long, long way, and he beats Fanian to it. It only goes as far as Moore. Through to Fanian, this is the chance. That is a great tackle. But he gets there again. It's into Mello. It was on a plate 6 yards out. And unfortunately, it's straight at the keeper. His long kick tries to get a quick counter on, and it's intercepted by Malden. He finds Boot, who goes wide to Fanian. O'Grady's in the middle if he can find him. Gets to the byline, the cross is blocked, to Moore, into the box to Grady! And it's just wide of the post. It remains 0-0, but we're knocking at the door now. I feel like it's coming. 1 minute to be added on. We're in the last minute before that stoppage time, and we've got to throw in an advanced position. As Fanian crosses, Mello hits the crossbar. Oh, you just wonder if it's not going to be our day. We've seen TNS have the exact reverse against us, and is it going to be our turn to suffer? What is great is we're dominating a top tier side. Moore goes over the top. Good ball for Fanian. Into the area. Tight angle. And he's put it wide of the post. Into the side netting. And at half time, it's goalless. It's been a brilliant performance from the away side. We've dominated the match. But will we rue all the missed chances? You have to think so, don't you? It seems like every lower league ground in this game has a block of flats or a hotel in the corner. It's very bizarre. But let's get the fist pumping. We're going to tell the lads to prove a point again. And bar 1 or 2, mainly the centre halves, we've got everyone on side again. So into the second half we go. I just really hope we don't regret all these missed chances. As Mello puts the free kick in left-footed. Fanian's up. It's disallowed for offside. We've finally hit the target with one and it's been ruled out. So it's still 0-0 remarkably. 12 shots, 4 on target. 60% of the ball. Hewitt's on a yellow. He's brought down Mello there. And this has to be the one. 58 minutes on the clock. It's a Mello free kick. Oh, it's a great effort. Davis up to his left. Tips behind for a corner. Incredible goalkeeping. He must be man of the match. Mello puts another corner in to O'Grady. And again, Davis is the man who saves the day for Aberystwyth. A long kick to a Kellaway as well. And he might have set up a devastating counter here. Down the left-hand side, the winger. To the byline, Cook brings him down. And he won the ball as well. Fanian flicks on the long clearance. And I just don't know how we're not ahead. A brilliant display from these boys. But it's just stayed 0-0 a little bit too long. And I'm starting to get a little concerned. I'm not quite sure what to do in terms of subs. We're going to leave it till 75. But I don't know who to bring off. I have to leave Fanian on, surely. Do I bring on Isla for O'Grady? Just because O'Grady has struggled physically recently. He is getting a little bit older. But in the box, he's probably the best option. So I'm going to bottle that for 5 more. What I am going to do is take off... No, I don't know. Everyone's playing well. It's a good performance. Let's stick with it. We don't have to make substitutions for the sake of it. We've got a warning to close down Rhys Davis. And with 5 to go, if we're still level, then we'll gamble. Because there's a few lads who are looking tired. And there we go. We're starting to get the warnings now. So Boot is absolutely cream crackered. He'll be replaced by Healy. We've got no options for Mello. Bolton's had an awful game, but I've got no replacements at left back. Although Wells has been suggested before, so let's put him there. Ben Wells at left back. And then Isla is coming on for O'Grady. Fanian's been scoring goals. He's the quicker player on the break. Let's go for it. Pace him behind. 0-0. 90 minutes are up. We've made 3 subs. We're still getting recommendations. So I'm guessing that we won't be able to make this change. It still says half-time backroom advice. We're into an extra 30 minutes. I'm not quite sure how we're not ahead. But I think the extra 30 probably suits Aberystwyth. We've had the extra games in the other cup. We've been winning promotion in the league. We're not able to rotate at all. We're getting warnings, so we must be able to make a 4th substitution. It's who it's going to be. Atkinson's knackered. Mello's knackered. Fanian's knackered. Everyone's knackered, really. I'm going to go for Atkinson off, Placeres on, because that's the one that affects the team the least. I presume I can't make a 5th. I can't. So the 4th substitution, Placeres gets a rare outing. It weakens the midfield, but it's fully fit. And the Aberystwyth one is absolutely knackered. We've reached half-time in extra time. No real shots. And it goes with the argument many have. Extra time is often a waste because it's so poor normally because both teams are out on their feet. Why don't we just go straight to penalties? It's away to Wells here on the left-hand side. To Garcia. Can we create that one magic moment? Into Placeres, to Mello, to Isla. What a strike by Dante Isla. The super sub is at it again. Against TNS he's done it. Against Lynettley he's done it. And here he's done it as well. He is an absolute superstar off the bench. And he's working his way into a new contract because that is a match winner. And that could be the goal that gets us closer to Europe. 1 minute of stoppage time completed in extra time. And we are through with a narrow 1-0 victory. The only question we really have is how we didn't win that in 90, and I guess how we didn't score 4 or 5. But an incredible performance against a top tier side. It bode really well for next season. Of course, we are losing our star attacking creative player in Mello, but that doesn't mean much tonight. He can get us into Europe before he goes, and we're 2 games from European football and our 2nd cup win of the season. That would be a turn up for the books. There is the confirmation then. Barry Town get through on penalties. Flint Town we knew were through. And Cardiff met Uni there as well. So this is going to be an interesting draw. Let's go and see who we're going to get in the semi-final. We'll deal with the press conference off camera. We'll skip ahead to the semi-final. And we'll be back in a minute to see who we get. Here we go then. We finish on the semi-final draw for the Welsh Cup. It's Barry Town, it's Cardiff met Uni, or it's Flint Town. Barry are out first, probably the hardest team left if we're being honest. Flint Town draw them, which means we will be facing Cardiff Met Uni at home for a place in the final. We know Cardiff Met Uni are a good side. We'll have a look at them in a bit more detail next episode because that is exactly when we're going to be back. Another month's time, the 3rd of April. We'll group it in with the Prestatyn game as well. Could be when we wrap up the title. That unless, of course, we get a golden generation in our youth intake. It's been predicted by our poor head of youth development, and it should be ready by the time we come back for that. But if you did enjoy this episode, that brilliant cup performance, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I worry about the lack of ruthlessness in front of goal, but we got through, and that's all that matters. And if we can get into Europe in the first season, I hadn't even contemplated it when starting a save. It will make such a difference to the future, particularly our rapid growth within the country. Of course, we're losing some stars, we'll deal with that in the summer, but there is so much to be positive about here at Bangor City, and I hope you can see it as well. If you want to stay up to date with our cup run and see if we can go all the way, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases on the channel from this series and the head coach every day at 3:30. And of course, for the rest of the week, we've still got live streams from the beta with Wigan. You can vote for the long-term live stream over on the community page now. So please do go and have your say. It's neck and neck at the moment, and I'll be interested to see who we end up with. But thank you so much for your incredible support, both on this channel and over on the podcast, which you can see in the eye above. There's a link to all the other playlists as well, but your support has been incredible. So I'll see you next time for the Cup semi-final. We're on TV, and we're 2 games from Europe. I'll see you there.